Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jenny with from First Drip. I'm going to be making a sunflower sandalwood soap today, and per usual I'm going to go through my ingredients. I don't think I've specifically mentioned all the oils and everything I use, but right here my soft oils and with additives, and those oils include olive oil, grapeseed oil, and castor oil, and I use colloidal oats and what's it called, kaolin clay. That's all that's in here. That's why this is cloudy. In here are my melted hard oils, and my hard oils are babasu oil, coconut oil, and shea butter, and I melt it separately. And here's my lye solution, and I also have additives in here. I have sugar, of course, water, and the sodium hydroxide, and mulberry silk, as well as sodium lactate. So these are all the things. This is my standard recipe. This is what I use every time, except if I'm making something a little bit more specialty, then I switch it up a little bit. Or I'm trying to get rid of ingredients, but I don't have stuff I'm getting rid of. So I have my basic recipe, and this is it. For this soap, I'm going to be including some poppy seeds, and these are my colorants and my fragrance. I will be using yellow. I'll be using yellow iron oxide, as opposed to mica, and green and brown. Like I said, this is sunflower sandalwood. I'm trying to make it look like it sounds. So keep watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff that really helps a small channel grow. I really appreciate it, because it really does help me bring to you these contents and continue making these videos on camera and whatnot. Thank you very much. In my last video, I think I talked about why I stepped away from the heat transfer method. Not anything against the heat transfer method. I love it, but for right now, this is just what's working for me, which is, the melt. I call it the meltdown method, and that's where you melt all your hard oils, mix it, everything at a certain temperature. And I think my sweet spot is between 85 and 110 degrees. Somehow I always end up around 89, 90 degrees, and that's perfect for me. I'll rather soap a little warmer than room temperature than cooler. Okay, so the process of which I go by mixing my recipes, I melt down my oils, mix my lye solution, let it come down in temperature to somewhere sitting around room temperature. As long as nothing is too hot, then I combine like you had seen, and then I mix. I use the immersion blender to mix until it comes to emulsification. I'm not necessarily looking for trace at this point, only because I also did mention that my recipe is not a slow moving recipe, and it's not a rapid recipe either. It's depends on the temperature, depends on the day, depends on the design I'm looking to go for. It could end up being perfectly fluid enough to make my swirls, or it could end up being a little too thick to make my dreams come true, if I could say so. So I just blend to emulsion, and then I split it up to however many not batches, however many colors I'm making, and then work on my swirls that way. I really do, for multiple colored batches, I really like to not get to trace, because by the time you're getting to trace, it means things are beginning to set. So trace is just setting. It is setting. That's all that it is. Like, your mixture has bound together. It's not going to separate. And basically it's beginning the process of saponification. So technically it's setting, And when you lift your spatula, your spoon, or your immersion blender, whatever, and you swirl it over the top of the batter, you would see traces of the batter sitting on top. Depending on how long it sits on top, it depends on how far into trace your batch has gotten. So I like to just emulsify, and then split, mix, and do my swirls. And that's just what works for me. I did say that maybe in a future video I will do the heat transfer method. And I really did enjoy the heat transfer method, and honestly, it's actually the way I started out soap making. I started out soap making with the heat transfer method. And I, not that I had any bad experience with it, I just evolved into this method. And I'll probably get back to it at some point. Maybe put it on video. Like I think I had said, I'll do the same recipe I had done, and then we can compare. So yeah, this is just how I walk through the process of making my soap. So if there is anything particularly you like for me to film, to record, let me know. You'll notice a certain type of trend to my YouTube videos, and that is I make quite a bit of the same soaps, maybe different designs, but the same fragrance. And I'm hoping nobody bashes me for that, because I am making what's selling. Honestly, I would love to make 101 different types of soaps with different types of fragrance that's named, all this really fantastic flowery stuff. But the problem is that I don't have the budget for that. And for all of those multiple different fragrance oils, and all those multiple different soaps, and I don't know if it's gonna sell. It's for me, it's all about what's selling, what my customers are buying. And if you guys are buying it, I will be making it. I will be making more of what you guys want, what my customers are wanting. I have like some staples in my soap my soap library that I will always make, and I'll always continue to make, because it's that those are the ones that the flies off the shelf. And why will I stop making it? It's really fun to add more different types of collection to to my offering. But then again, like with many things in business, it's all about the budget. And I am not on Facebook to fams or to pretend or be what I'm not. And the truth of the matter is, I just don't have the budget to expand my line. I need what I'm making to keep selling rapidly for me to develop that budget to be able to make 10 more different kinds of soaps to showcase and to film about and whatnot. And you can see I usually make small batches. This mold actually holds or makes for my size of soaps, because my soaps are a little bit bigger than the standard soap that most soap makers make. I think it's very usual for you to go on the market and see soaps between 4.5 to 5 ounces a bar. Mine is sometimes 6 or a little bit more than 6 ounces. So, and the shape is also different. This mold holds 10 bars. And when I make these 10 bars, I can be rest assured that I'm going to sell everything, even if it could be a little slow in some times of the years. And I also go to markets and festivals, and I have my booths there. And actually, that's where I actually just make most of my sales. My Facebook fam, please, please, please step up the game. But if watching is what you enjoy doing, I absolutely appreciate you. I really absolutely appreciate you. I'm not making any money right now on on YouTube, but I do it because I love it. I just enjoy the process, and it gives me a lot of joy when I see like one more new subscriber. Like I'm like, oh my God, someone loved my content enough to like subscribe. Like, it just makes me happy that way. Yeah, so this mold holds 10. My largest mold actually produces 30 bars of soap. You probably have seen me make my barley breeze soap, so my lavender martini. I usually use my larger mold because those are my best sellers. Whenever you see me use my larger molds and soaps, just know that those soaps are my best sellers. Like, I always have to have it in stock because a lot of people always want it. Dragon's blood, like, it's the man, like my male clientele, like, they absolutely love it. I do have a customer in my husband's office that always, like, he only uses my dragon's blood soap. Like, he's always buying it. He's always buying the dragon's blood, so he will not buy any other soap but that one. And he absolutely loves it. And I think he had made a comment to my husband that soap lasts him, did he say 2 or 2.5 months, something like that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It lasts that long. So every around that time, he's always buying more. So, those bestsellers, I'm always going to keep them in stock. And yeah, it may be, stopping me from adding a little bit more flavor to my collection, meaning different types of other fragrances. But for my business, it's not a problem because I'm making what the customers are liking. And I'm hoping in the future to add a little bit more, or rotate things. But yeah, this is what's working for me, and it's working. All right. So this is me just telling you that subsequent videos might be fragrances you may have seen me make before, but the interesting part is it's always going to be a different design. Like, there's always going to be a variation to the design or something like that. It's never going to be the exact same type of pour or anything. It could be the same color, but it would be a different type of design or a different look to the same type of design I've made. Anyway, thanks for watching, and please come back.